Do you ever find yourself at the end of winter just longing to get your hands in the dirt? Well, that's how we're feeling. So today we're grabbing our seeds and taking you planting with us. Welcome back to our channel, The Purpose-Driven Homestead. I'm Amanda, and today we are planting our first seeds of the season, which is super exciting. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks so much for stopping by. We are backyard homesteaders sharing our tips and tricks with you so that you can go ahead and do the same. If you are returning, thanks so much for coming back. You know that we are in the Midwest, which means that we have a much shorter growing season than a lot of other gardeners. So it is crucial for us to go ahead and start our seeds indoors. We'll go ahead and put them under the grow house lights, and then we will, of course, transfer them outside once it is nice and warm. So while it's 20 degrees outside right now, we definitely know that spring is right around the corner, so we need to go ahead and get started. Today we are planting onions, collards, tomatoes, and bell peppers. So first off, we're going to go ahead and start with collards. Now, obviously, this is a store brand. This is the Livingston brand, but collards do a really great job in the cooler climate. So obviously, here in the Midwest, we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that. And of course, we really love collards. So we are going to do a planting in the early spring, but also in the late summer, early fall time frame, so that we have a harvest both in the summer and in the late fall. Now, we really enjoy collards. They're a great side dish to really kind of any meal. So if you're interested in our family recipe, go ahead and comment below. We're happy to share that recipe with you. In our previous video, we talked about how we created our own potting soil right here on our homestead rather than buying store-bought potting soil. So go ahead and take a look at that video. Now, in our video, we also discussed how we use solo cups for a lot of our plants. So we use the solo cups, and you'll see that being used today. It's going to be a little bit different for our onions and also our collards. So our collards, we're going to go ahead and recycle this store-bought plant pot that we went ahead and bought a couple years ago and we saved. So we'll go ahead and plant those collards right now. Collards do not need to be thinned, so we're only going to go ahead and put 2 seeds per pot, and that is going to be right on top, and we're just going to put some dirt right up on the top to just cover it, and then go ahead and put some water on. Next up, we're going to go ahead and do our bell pepper seeds. For our store-bought variety, we have Grand Bell and Orange Sun. We've used these previously. They've done really well, so we're going to go ahead and stick with them. In addition to our store-bought seeds, we're also going to be using our saved seeds from last year. Our bell peppers went wild last year. They did wonderfully. So we want to go ahead and reproduce that same thing and be able to stick a lot of bell peppers in our freezer like we did last year. It was just a wonderful year for bell peppers. One thing that we will be taking a look at this year and keeping an eye out for is the fact that we planted our bell peppers right next to our jalapenos. So cross-pollination may have occurred there, and we may have more of a spicier bell pepper than maybe like a sweeter flavor than what you normally would get. We would absolutely love that. We love spice in our food. However, if you are planning on saving your seeds and maybe selling them to someone else, you obviously don't want that to happen. Cross-pollination is probably not the greatest thing when you're trying to sell a seed, but for us here on our homestead, that wouldn't really matter. But we will definitely keep you up to date with that. This is going to be our tray for our bell pepper seeds. Our bell pepper seeds look like this. These are our saved seeds. So we'll go ahead and make one tray for our saved seeds and one for our store-bought seeds. For our bell peppers, they are about a ½ inch deep. So you can either put them right up on the top and just push them down, or you can make a little kind of hole with your fingertip, but not very much. You want to make sure that it's not very deep. Now I want to give each plant plenty of opportunity to germinate. That is why I'm putting 2 seeds in each. You can just do 1, but I want to give them as much opportunity to germinate in there. You just want to cover them up just slightly and go ahead and get them nice and watered. I'll show you the waterer that we're using. This we can actually go ahead and link below. We got it from Amazon. It's a nice waterer. We used to use a spray bottle, but this we find is just a really great way of saturating the soil a little bit, and then but not having it be too much. You can really control how much is going in there. Those are our bell peppers, and I'm gonna go ahead and plant the store-bought the same exact way as I just did here with our homegrown. Now next up, we are planting tomatoes. Tomatoes are extremely versatile. You can have them as pizza sauce, you can have them in soups and stews and chilies. There's just so much that you can do with tomatoes. You can eat them fresh or canned. So we want a lot of tomatoes here on our homestead. They do wonderfully with feeding our family, and so we want to go ahead and beef up our production. So we're definitely going to go ahead and reflect that in our planting today. For our tomatoes, we're going to go ahead and do it in the solo cups like I mentioned. And we are going to go ahead and start off with the big boy hybrids. And this is what the seed looks like. So since there are not very many in this pack, we're just going to go ahead and do 1 per solo cup. The suggestion for planting tomatoes is about 1/4 inch deep. So you can just go ahead and use the tip of your finger and make a little hole here at the top and put that tomato seed right in. And then you can just cover it up with the dirt you already have in there. Just kind of cover it right on up. And then you can go ahead and water these as well. Lastly, we are planting onions. And just like our bell peppers, we also saved some of our onion seeds as well from our harvest last year. Now, onion seeds only last about 1 to 2 years. Now, we have never planted onion seeds. We've only ever planted the sets in our garden. So we're definitely interested in seeing the difference between the harvest from our seeds and then a harvest from our sets. Last year, we purchased our sets from Rural King, which was wonderful. We were able to provide onions for our family up until early February. We're hoping to stretch that a little bit more this year, so we're going to go ahead and plant some more. However, when you buy them from the store, you're very limited on the types that you can have. With the seeds, we can go ahead and use whatever variety we plant from the seeds. So we're super excited to get a little bit more of a variety this year, and we're excited to see the difference between what is produced from our seeds and what is produced from our sets. Okay, for our onions, we will be planting here in this 12 plant tray rather than the solo cups, just so that we can take these out and break them apart once they have germinated and they're ready to be transplanted into the ground. This gives us the ability to kind of break them apart and then have multiple sets. So rather than planting 1 or 2 seeds, I'm going to take a pinchful, maybe approximately 6 to 10 seeds in each of the little trays, and we will go ahead and thin them out as they start to grow. And I am just planting them right on top. I will dust a little bit of dirt up at the top. Okay, and as I said, we're just going to go ahead and dust just a little bit of dirt up at the top, and then we'll go ahead and get it watered. Those are our store-bought seeds, but I'm going to go ahead and plant our homegrown safe seeds the same way. I also wanted to mention with onions, you want to make sure that you're planting them 6 to 8 weeks prior to your last frost. That will give it enough time to go ahead and germinate. And what you'll want to do once these onions are starting to grow is thin them out and cut the grains down a little bit. One thing I didn't mention to you is how we are saving our seeds during off season. So this is a storage box and it has 16 cases within it. So it is a wonderful way of being able to organize your seeds. As you can see, I can open up, they all have locks on them. I can open it up and keep everything separated. So here's a box of our corn, we have one for our tomatoes and so on. So this is a wonderful way of being able to organize that. If you're looking for something to organize your seeds, then go ahead and pick this up. This is linked below for you. You can go ahead and take a look at that. I hope you found value in our video today and maybe some tips and tricks on how you can plant your own backyard garden. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. That really helps us out. I hope you enjoy your growing season. Stay tuned for our next video. Have a great day, guys. Bye.